So I failed in 2002, I failed in 2003, failed in 2004, failed in 2000. So I went to the gym and hired a personal trainer. And one of the things they sat me down and talked with me about is having a goal to work towards. And he mentioned maybe like a bodybuilding. Made me appreciate the art of me that you guys create, as opposed to I can only shoot for certain times of my, bodybuilding career. And so it's just, I think it's a neat way to see yourself.
Welcome back to the Impact Project interview series, where we explore inspiring stories of fitness, personal growth, and travel adventures. In episode 2, we sit down with Rachel Otero, a retired firefighter, paramedic, and fitness competitor whose story is rooted in persistence, self-discovery, and embracing each chapter of life with purpose. From early challenges in a demanding field to building confidence on and off the stage, Rachel's journey is a testament to both grit and growth. In this episode, we discuss how failing forward helped Rachel break into a demanding career, what inspired her path to bodybuilding and becoming a fitness competitor, the challenges of balancing shift work, training, and food prep, navigating body image, food relationships, and post-show transitions, the power of destination photo shoots in building confidence, and why photography and travel help her embrace every chapter of her journey. Let's get to it. Hey, welcome everybody. I am back with another interview, and I've got another amazing athlete here with me, Rachel, and I'm going to run right into it. I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell everybody how awesome she is.
Thank you, Calvin. So I'm Rachel Otero from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm a retired firefighter paramedic and bikini competitor.
Two hard things that you're taking on there, but I'll start with the fitness. So what inspired you to begin your fitness journey?
All right, so this first answer is a little bit of a long one, but I'll try to condense it as much as possible. Always been into fitness, sports, swim team, dance, ballet, volleyball, and so I started as a lifeguard at a sports and wellness club and started working out with the trainers there, and then also ran into some firefighters. And I had always had an interest in becoming a firefighter. And so as soon as I was 21, I went ahead and tested for the fire department. I volunteered before that. And I failed the first time. I was about halfway across with the dummy, the mannequin that's like 180 pounds. And it was the last part of the test, and I ran out of time. So had to reevaluate my goals, decide if that's what I still wanted, what I needed to do, because there was only one test a year. So I failed in 2002, I failed in 2003, failed in 2004, failed in 2005. And they ended up switching the physical agility test about halfway in between to, it's called a CPAT. So I went from a combat challenge to a CPAT. And I even bought the 75-pound vest that they used. And I made a board with about 185 pounds of weight and put handles on the end. And I would drag it around the backyard wearing my vest. I'd go to the gym and do the step mill with my vest on. And finally, in 2006, I passed and got accepted into the next academy. And so in the fire department, we're doing a firefighter calendar, and it was with all the guys. So there was one year they decided to do a women's firefighter calendar, and I went ahead and submitted to be in it and got selected. And when I got the calendar, it was like a poster. I got that back, and I was a little bit disappointed in what I saw in myself. Like, I wanted to see a fit, feminine firefighter. And I just didn't feel like I portrayed that in just a picture. So I decided that I needed to do something different. I had been working out in the gym for a long time and just needed to figure out something different. So I went to the gym and hired a personal trainer. And one of the things they sat me down and talked with me about is having a goal to work towards. And he mentioned maybe like a bodybuilding show. And so I started looking into the different divisions and decided that sounded fun. So there was a couple trainers there that had done bikini competitions, and they decided to help me. And so I was training with them and did my first OCB bikini show in 2018. And then PCA, another organization, did their first show here in Albuquerque. And so I decided to do that one shortly after that. It was like a week or two later, and did a little better and my trainer moved to New York, and so I decided to hire an actual coach. And I had about a month. It was a kind of like their national show in Florida. And so I was like, I'm just going to go for it and see how it goes. And it was pretty hardcore on the diet side. So I think I ate basically salmon for the next month. And it was like 5-6 times a day salmon. And I got so sick of salmon, but I like it now. So actually got fairly lean and was pretty proud of, my progress. And by that point, I was so food focused. I couldn't wait to eat. And I chose not to use her for reversing, didn't know any better. And I gained a lot of weight after that. So, do you mind if I go into the rest of
Oh,
my bikini competing?
oh yeah, we have as much time as you have.
Okay. So, decided that for 2019, I might try to coach myself. I thought I knew enough about fitness and the gym and everything. But I didn't. I did 3 shows, 2 OCB shows and 1 PCA, and did not bring an improved physique from my last one from 2018. So I am not one of those people that can coach myself. I think it's amazing when people can, but I scrutinized everything and was like, maybe I need to eat more food or less food or more cardio or less cardio. And I just, I'm not one of those people that can do that. So I ended up the end of 2019, I hired Adam Bonilla with Team Elite and ended up prepping for 2020. Unfortunately, due to COVID, all the shows in Albuquerque were postponed, and then finally canceled. So I pretty much prepped for the entire 2020 and finally decided to do a show with Center Podium, the West Coast show in California. So I competed November 7th in there and was definitely the best physique I brought. However, after prepping for a year, my metabolism was shot, my hormones were shot, and a few weeks later, my dad passed away December 1st. So I began emotionally eating, and I had already kind of ruined my relationship with food after that year. And to top it off, we went to an all-inclusive resort in Puerto Vallarta right after that. So I ended up gaining weight back really fast, and it wasn't healthy. And when I went to Puerto Vallarta, I decided to reach out to Celeste Rains-Turk, who does food relationship coaching and counseling. And so I learned so much from her. I wish that I would have started with her before I ever got into competing. And then in 2021, I switched coaches because Adam raised his prices, unfortunately, and hadn't done a proper reverse and had gained all that weight. And so everything that coach tried to do, my body wouldn't respond to. And unfortunately, I'm the type of person that I set a show and didn't matter, I would just do it. And I got COVID right before that show. It was a really rough prep, and I opted to go anyways and just was using it as an experience to improve my stage presence, as opposed to, I knew I wasn't bringing a better physique. And so then after that, I kind of had to take a little bit of a step back and reevaluate. I decided to go with another coach, Hannah Ranfranz, who started Team Infinity right about then. And so I started with her the end of 2021. And then in 2022, I did 2 shows in San Antonio and then another one in Albuquerque, and started bringing a better physique. Things were starting to go better. We started a little bit of a reverse and didn't gain quite as much weight back. And then I had a knee replacement the middle of 23, complete knee replacement. And so since then, it's just been a matter of trying to, rehab, build the muscle back. So it's been a journey. I've learned a lot from it.
Yeah, and it's certainly a great journey. Now, it was funny because when you started, I was thinking that you were kind of going to go, hey, I started that so I could become a firefighter, but it was really still more about yourself versus the career. It certainly helped with the career, but it was really for you from
Yeah.
the photo shoot. So and seeing yourself, it's a good way. I said, when you see yourself, you kind of like, hey, that's me, whether, good, bad, whatever. So it can certainly help out with some things. So great there. How has fitness helped you, obviously in your career, but how does it help you in your day-to-day life?
I think it's helped me to have a little more structure to my day, just kind of help planning for like my future. Like when I make my food choices, am I getting enough sleep so that I can function throughout the week? I think it's just given me more structure to my day.
So good there. And you have, like I said, fitness itself, like I said, that's demanding, particularly when you're, hopping on the stage, once or twice or three times a year. But you also have, firefighting is pretty demanding. And like my only experience with it, I watch Chicago Fire every once in a while, but I'm pretty sure that still doesn't even scratch the surface on how challenging that is. So how do you balance the fitness routine with the firefighting routine?
So the balance is definitely not easy. And I don't think I could have done it early in my career we have four kids and when they were all in high school, there's no way I could have personally done that and my career and the competing. So when they all got old enough and went out of the house and then I decided to do that, it, just it became something I wanted to do for me. But to fit it in with my career, I had already started changing the way I ate at work. I used to eat with the guys. We'd all cook or go out to eat together. And I started realizing I had a food sensitivity to gluten. So I started bringing my own food already. This just kind of was a thing where I had to start prepping my food a little better and planning it a little better. You could be working out in their gym and get a call, and then you have to come back and start again. I think the only thing that I had to do a little differently that maybe some competitors might not need to do is that I had to make sure I had something extra to eat just in case, because I didn't know what the demands of my body would be for that shift, whether it be, working a fire all night, or working a code on somebody. I I physically and mentally had to be on top of things because it's somebody's life, or my own life. And so it was something I had to kind of plan a little better and get sleep when I could.
Right. Now, did your fellow firefighters, were they supportive? Did they understand it, or?
Yeah, I'd say for the most part, they all were. I think we always get the fire department likes to joke with each other. They like to pick on people, and early on, it was a little rough, but I built a thick skin, and when I started eating on my own, there was stations that I went to where they kind of give you a hard time for not eating with the crew, but I'd eat my own food with them. But yeah, it was just something that the more you didn't show that it bugged you, the less they picked on you. So it
Mhm.
wasn't a big deal. They were all pretty supportive of it.
That's pretty cool. So we actually met in Greece in 2022. So I was super
Yeah.
glad that I met you there on that trip. But uh, what led into you deciding to take that trip, and what did you get out of it?
So I had seen Brett Seeley's trips prior to 2022 and was very interested in going. I love traveling and I love photography. I always wanted to be a model, but never did. So I decided to, go for it. And it was actually Tulum in January. It was my first trip with him, and had my husband went with me. You met Dominic, and had an amazing time. It just didn't feel. I thought I was going to not fit in, or not be good enough, or not know enough. And the same thing with Greece. Nobody made me feel like, oh, you're stupid for not knowing what to do, or you're not quite ready. And I think it was hard to make that leap to go when I was thinking I have to be stage lean to go, or I have to, have all this experience to go. And the photographers, you guys were amazing as far as, coaching us how to pose and making sure that we had the angles to make us look good. And it was an incredible trip. So yeah, as soon as Tulum, even before it was over, I think we were planning Greece, and then after Greece, we ended up planning Hawaii. So we went to Hawaii in November. So I did 3 trips that year with them. So it was amazing.
That was cool. So I was actually I probably so that means I would have met you in January, but I got COVID the week
Oh
before
no!
that trip.
Oh,
So
bummer.
yeah, I was supposed to be there. So I still have not been to Mexico.
Oh no. We'll have to go.
Yeah, so one of these I'll plan one. So yeah, so really glad that I met you there. But how does just I mean, obviously that was a destination trip and you got a lot of things out of that, but how does photography play into your bodybuilding fitness life?
So I think for me, I've learned to appreciate my body through all stages of building and cutting, and um, it's just it's made me appreciate the art of me that you guys create, as opposed to I can only shoot for certain times of my bodybuilding career. And so it's just I think it's a neat way to see yourself. I think you guys, you just make us look amazing. So
I'm glad that you brought that up about like the different parts. It doesn't necessarily have to be, competition peak week or anything like that. But what would you say to somebody who is hesitant about doing a fitness photo shoot?
don't think about it, just do it. It's I think you if you look for, like, you can find inexpensive stuff if money's an issue. You can look on Shein or Temu or one of those and find outfits that make you feel confident, no matter where you are at, whether or not if you feel uncomfortable in a swimsuit, find a dress that makes you feel confident, and then just go. I think of course, making sure that it's photographers like you, people that are reputable. And, if you're concerned, bring somebody with you. But I say go, do it, just experience it, and you won't regret it.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that too. Like I said, it should be celebrated with everybody. It was cool. We met your husband, and like I said, he was real supportive and helping out, during the shoot and things like that. How has he supported you in your fitness journey?
So he doesn't actually enjoy going to bodybuilding competitions, but he we love supporting each other. So he will not miss my shows. He comes with me to all my competitions, all my fashion shows, all of my photo shoots. He just We love being a part of each other's lives. So I think and I know that's not for everybody, but that's how we grow and bond together, as even if we don't care for the thing that they're doing, it's what makes each other happy. So yeah, he's very
That's
supportive
awesome.
of it.
That is awesome. I told him we're gonna have to get him in a shot one of these days.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great. Definitely. Yeah, I got him in a couple of shoots. So he does good. Yeah, I don't know if he enjoys it, but I think he does.
That's cool. So you are if you recently retired from firefighting, correct?
Yes. So the beginning of February, I was able to retire. So yeah, more traveling now. Yay.
Super.
Um,
Congratulations. So
yeah.
yeah, I was about to ask about that. So like what new projects are you gonna have? I know that you just finished a trip, but like anything on the either modeling or fitness side or
So I've been a little hesitant to go back to the stage, just because I'm not sure. It's hard when you haven't cut yet to know if have I built enough muscle back. And um, I I'm not sure if I have or not, because I haven't peeled back the layers yet. Um, but my coach and I have talked about the new division, the fit model division, and since it's not quite as much muscle needed, not quite as lean. Um, I like the idea of having a look that's a little more sustainable, that I can feel really confident in photo shoots, really confident on stage. So we're working towards a prep, hopefully the second weekend of August. So
on that, like I know, like you said, it's not for everybody. So what would you tell? Actually, two questions. So what would you tell somebody who is just starting with their fitness competition journey?
so I would say that don't rush into it. Go see a show first. And then I would recommend like interviewing coaches. Don't just pick one coach. Talk to them about how they do their check-ins, what they require to provide for their check-ins, how they provide is it a meal plan or is it macros, and do they do a reverse? And I would talk to them about everything. But I would also say the biggest thing is I would talk to somebody like Celeste. Like if you have any kind of food relationship issues beforehand, it kind of, I think it intensifies them. And so I think working on those things, building that muscle before you even start cutting, working on all those things beforehand, especially like if the more muscle you have, the faster metabolism is going to be, and you are going to lose a little bit of muscle when you cut. So I think don't rush to the stage, do some talking to people and realize that it does cost a fair amount of money. So just make sure you're ready for the investment.
And follow up to that is not everybody is interested in the competition stage. So what advice would you give to somebody who is not looking to take the stage, but just any kind of this fitness tips? So for somebody like me, for example.
Yeah, no. So I would say that, and I've talked with a few people about this, is set some sort of goal, some sort of mile marker to work towards, whether it be a photo shoot or maybe some sort of race or a vacation. Set some sort of goal to work towards that motivates you every day to get up and do those things.
And where can people find you online?
So on Instagram, my Instagram is Rachel, RachelM, and then my last name Otero, Otero. And then my Facebook is my full name. It's Rachel Marie Otero.
Cool. Is there actually, I did have another question. So I am sure that you are very, very inspiring. So what I wanted to ask is there something that you know that you have inspired somebody or something where they didn't even realize that they were inspired?
Yeah, so I've had a few people reach out and like especially like some of my friends' daughters or different people that have ended up wanting to get into the fire department and talk to them about the fire department, or just a couple different women that have reached out on social media and messaged me and said that I've inspired them. And it honestly was great to hear, because it's not something you expect to do when you put your life out there, but it's great to be able to inspire people. So yeah.
Almost last question maybe is what are you most proud of, whether it's in your fitness journey, photography journey, or any kind of intersection between the two?
I would have to say it's my career in the fire department. It was the the beginning and the end. It was the getting in, and I think all that failing, I failed forward and I learned from all the failing that I did. And failing's not a bad thing, but getting into the fire department and then being able to retire. My husband retired about 5-6 years ago, and being able to get through my whole career and know what I did and be able to have the day where I got to retire, it was a great feeling. That was definitely my biggest success.
That's so amazing. And is there anything that I did not ask you that you're just like, hey, I want to say this or want people to know, whether it's about yourself or just to help out, whether competition or photography?
Oh my goodness, I think I covered a lot. Had some notes. I think I went through most of it. No, I can't think of anything else. But I mean, if anybody ever, wants to reach out and message me, you got questions about it, feel free to reach out. And, Calvin's an excellent photographer. He's amazing, very talented. Made me look amazing. I love his photos from the shoot. So don't hesitate, just do it. And yeah, just, fail forward.
I like that. I'm going to borrow that. Fail forward.
Yeah.
Fail forward. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for joining the podcast, and looking forward to seeing what life has in store for you. And I'm sure that's going to be a whole lot even in retirement.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Calvin.
Thank you. The Impact Project is all about embracing your journey, whether that's redefining what strength looks like, starting over, or pushing towards something new. I hope that this conversation helps inspire you to keep moving forward. If this did resonate with you, please like, subscribe, and join the Impacted community to keep growing together. See you in the next one.